We've all had those little and big missteps in our lives. What if they weren't right or wrong? What if they were just choices on the way to consciousness? Welcome to the Missteps of Consciousness TV show with Hayden and Julie.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Missteps of Consciousness. And I'm Hayden Glover, obviously, and this is my lovely host Julie. I gotta stop doing the hands. And we don't have a guest tonight, except for this woman who's our viewer, who happens to also maybe be my mother. It's fine. She can't hear me, so she can't react.
She can hear you, but she can't talk. We've actually muted her. We've used...
Just a quick question. How many people actually would have liked to do that with their parents throughout their life? Once or twice, I'm sure.
To mute them.
Yeah, just completely mute them. Just click a button. They're done. You don't have to listen to them anymore.
Or maybe hear what they say.
Yeah. And the topic tonight we're talking about, getting back on track, is entities.
Yes.
Yes. It's a big thing. Like a lot of the stuff we talk about are really big topics. And this one is you can literally dedicate entire classes to this in Access, and it encompasses so much and so much that happens in the world, and we're not even aware. A lot of people don't even believe, or they're not aware of it, or they just force it out of their awareness.
Well, yeah. And I mean, there's a specialty class in Talk to the Entities in Access Consciousness, and it's brilliant. And tonight we really are going to talk about entities. And when we talk about entities, we're talking about, spirits or people that have passed on. And usually it's just they don't have a body. And I'm going to talk about having the consciousness with entities tonight. And I think, entities is a big part of my life. And I think more that I really look at entities and the more that I acknowledge, when I don't actually acknowledge entities in my life and work with entities, it actually affects me, and it actually it stops me being all that I can be, because it really, it's like it's been a part of it. I've always known there's been entities in my life, but the more that I, now using the Access Consciousness tools, there's a different way of actually working and actually just acknowledging that there's entities around. So as much as there's people around, there's as many or even double as entities around in the world.
So imagine a room with one person. There's probably likely going to be at least 10 more entities in there, probably to 10,000 entities. You wouldn't know because...
And that's where it really comes in handy, when you can ask questions and having your awareness, and you can use the light and heavy tool. I use it all the time. If my mood changes very quickly or something, I notice emotion or a lot of thoughts are starting to be really rapid in my mind, I usually ask, is there an entity around that I'm not acknowledging? And then usually I get a light or a heavy, or I usually get a yes or a no. And it can, if I don't acknowledge that there's entities around, it can really, I can go down the rabbit hole very fast.
Yeah, I think we all done that. I know I've definitely done that, where you just jump in the hole and you're like, this is definitely mine. It's got to be mine because I'm just that messed up. And it's usually not. You're picking it up from something else.
Yeah. Because, I've always, even as a little girl, I've always been aware of, other entities around me. So, but I always thought that, in this world and in this reality, we get told that it's really not true. We get told that it's actually you're making it up, or it's you're imagining it, or So it's for me, I've always known And so by just actually saying it's what's true for me, it's opened a whole new different world for me with entities. And if people think I'm crazy, that's okay. Like, that's just their reality. That's not my reality. And, you know, by being conscious, so not judging myself. So we just said it before, you know, we're talking about entities, but we're talking about self-judgment too. Having no judgment with entities and not judging the entities and judging yourself about what you're actually aware of actually can open a different possibility and a different reality with communicating, clearing, and receiving from entities. And that hasn't been on the planet before. And that's what I like about Talk to the Entities and what Shannon O'Hara talks about. Because it is a whole new world. And I think it's great that we can actually be able to have a different reality with entities. And like I said, I haven't had that. I've had other people's points of views. I've had the churches. I've had metaphysics point of view. Now I'm actually having my own realities with entities, and that's a whole new adventure for me because I can play with them. Completely different, with no judgment on the entities and no judgments on me.
It's a very different concept to how most people would approach entities, because very much as we see them now, they're very big in movies and everything.
Yeah,
it's these bad characters and they're evil and they have more power over you. And whenever you speak of entities, or most people I've seen in Access, it's like, no, they're just people, just without bodies.
Yeah.
It's just a complete.
And you know, there's entities that have been people. There's entities and beings that they don't have a body. That they haven't been people. You know, they're just different beings. There's animal spirits. So there's lots of different entity and types of entities too. We've had a lot of judgment. We've had a lot of, define what entities are all about. And, you know, this is the way, you know, we look at, you know, people have looked at entities. But having no judgments about it, actually, like I said, it just actually opens a whole new reality. And so all the myths and the lies about entities actually can really screw up. And I know it has actually screwed me up because I always thought that entities were a certain way. And, you know, I actually thought I was nuts for a while. And I was so aware of what I was perceiving from entities. And, you know, that's what I love about the Access Consciousness tools, because it gets you to say, well, you don't have to judge yourself. And, you know, and it gets you to look at a different possibility with entities. So are you, like, what are you aware of with entities?
I'm definitely aware of places with entities, and definitely like funeral homes and definitely supermarkets where you can definitely know the entities are there. And when they're all around you. And I'm aware of all these different places. I'm not the best when it comes to entities, I'd say, but that's an interesting point of view of my own.
And you notice the topic we're talking tonight is quite heavy because there is so much judgment, so much fixed point of view about entities. So everything that is, and I mean, I'm not going to do a lot of clearings about this tonight. This is more just a conversation to go, well, what if there is a different choice and a different possibility? And what if you could use questions to gain awareness around entities? And you know, so that can open doors that haven't been opened before. And that's what I've been playing with. So the last 40, I've been playing with entities for a while with Access Consciousness. But I've noticed in the last 24 hours, I've been really using the tools of Access Consciousness and the tools of Talk to the Entities a lot with clearing, communicating, and receiving. And really looking where I've been really shutting myself down with entities, and what I've been willing to actually be brutally honest what I actually know about entities, and how I can work with them, because they are like, I'm aware of them, and each time I cut off my awareness, it actually stops me, and I'm actually choosing this, stops me functioning and having everything that I'm asking to show up showing up in my life, what I've been asking. Because I'm not, I've been refusing to really look at this entity stuff. And, there is a lot of entities around me. So if there's people out there and this is something that actually resonates with you, like, I think that's really, and there's certain things that haven't been working in your life. What if you could ask, is there a lot of entities around me? Because I know, like, sometimes, certain people don't come up near me or talk to me or don't look at me. And I'm going, whoa, I do wonder what's the energy around me. And I did hear, when you've got lots of entities around you, you can be really unclear and not have clarity, and there can be a lot of interference when you're actually refusing and not being clear with what's around you with entities. As if you've got like lots of people with no bodies hanging around you.
It's like the whispers in your ears.
And distracting other people. Yeah. So that's been really something, like, I've been really
working on that. Yeah. When you were talking about how you used to shut out the entities, what I've noticed is whenever I did that, and I still do it sometimes, is you don't shut them out. If anything, you let them in, and then you don't listen. So you basically make yourself deaf to that, and there's just more and more and more and more that just flood in, and then you become less clear, and you're just picking up all these different voices and stuff, and you just do not wish to acknowledge any of them.
Yeah. And it actually like builds up. Like, it's not like a blocking when you're not looking what's really going on. And I mean, in this reality, there's so much about mental health, there's so much about all these other things. And I mean, hearing voices, I mean, I hear voices, and I really literally hear voices. And I'm now really, I'm willing to say that, yeah, they are voices. And when I actually are willing to ask the question, is it entities? I do hear it. And so I actually acknowledge, and I own and claim that's what I'm hearing. So, if people, you're out there and you go, wow, I hear voices, and like,
don't think you're fucked up.
Yeah. What if you're not that screwed up? What if you actually are so aware of entities without bodies and energies around you? And I think that for me, it's not a thing. It's actually really acknowledging that I'm quite aware. Like, I'm actually more aware, and I actually go into the wrongness. And we've talked about this all the time. And
this has been a big thing for like the last 3 years with us.
Yeah, we've been talking.
Yeah, because I remember the first time you told me about them.
And I actually asked a question today, and it was really cool. I was aware of something.
Which one?
And instead of going into the wrongness, I started going into the wrongness, and I went straight into a question was, what am I aware of here? And then I asked the question, what's right about this I'm not getting? Instead of going into the wrongness, there's something wrong. Going, what's right? What awareness am I having that I'm not acknowledging? And next minute, it expanded, and the awareness that I was having, the person explained what was going on, and I was like, oh wow, that's what I was aware of.
And it was so easy.
It was so easy. Yeah, so it's, what if you could just ask a question, and that by having no judgment and not going into the wrongness about you or trying to get your point of view right, or, having a fixed point of view. Yeah, it's asking a question to gain awareness and what else is possible and what else can you choose. So that's the 4 questions from Access Consciousness you can use with entities too, is what is this? What can I do with it? Can I change it? And how can I change it? It's really cool that you can use.
And it will bring awareness. You can just ask the entities to leave as well, yeah? Like you can just be like, hey, get out. Go.
I like that.
Yeah. You can set time periods, and entities can help, and they help you receive, and everything's an entity. But you can set standards for time periods, like, okay.
Business hours. You're talking about business hours. Yeah, that's really cool.
Like 7 a.m. in the morning till 9. That's my time period I'll do with entities.
Yeah. And you can ask them to stand back. When, there's, like I get a lot of pressure on me. And what I really notice is this is an exercise you can all do, is really expand out. The more you relax and relax with your awareness, you're actually relaxing your body and you allow your being to expand out. So when you're aware and entities are asking for your attention, you can ask them to really, stand back and relax in your body. And I've noticed that's what I've actually been, doing a lot more, is relaxing and expanding out. So it doesn't, like if I, just, get this emotion and anger and all this, I'll ask questions and I'll ask, is it entities? And then I'll go, okay, all the entities stand back. One at a time and stand back. And it allows me to really relax in my body. So then I don't go, I'm really tired. Because when you contract, and what I've really noticed, and again, when you contract, that's when you actually create a lot of judgment. And so another question I've been really asking too is when I am contracting is what judgment do I have here? And then I go, okay, expand out.
Is it my judgment?
Yeah, you can ask that. So usually, you can ask, who does this belong to? Is this mine or someone else's? Another really good one you can use when you start contracting, and it can be with entities being around you or not, you can ask, is this my reality or their reality?
It's usually not your reality. Most of us know what our reality is.
By asking that question, it actually then starts showing you, and the universe and you starts showing you their reality and your reality. And then you can actually choose your reality. And then it's like, oh, that's their reality. So then you don't have to, there's a choice of, I don't have to buy their reality. That's their reality. That's mine. Because how often, and I know I've done it with entities, it's like you combined it. And we get it so much that we don't know if we're in someone else's reality, if it's our own reality. Does that make sense?
That does make sense to me. You just glump everything together and none of it's really yours. Like, how many people live their reality as that? Where it's just, points of views from their parents, entities, anyone, like teachers, just the government, universe, blah, 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 whatever. It's just lumped together and none of that's yours.
And that's really cool. You use the energy of glump. So glump is all the different judgments of anything that you've picked up in this lifetime or other lifetime, and you've glumped it together. So like that, you don't know if it's yours. So by just asking questions, you start unpacking it, and you start, unbinding yourself from other people's realities, and that you know what your reality is and what someone else's reality is.
Is it unbinding or uncreating? And
it can be uncreating, and it can be outcreating, and it can be unbinding. It can be uncommitting. It can be it can be the UN to everything that, coding, uncoding. So all these different things that you have, intertwined with other people's universes that you're actually starting to uncreate.
You're becoming an un.
I like that UN, and really outcreate too. When we talk about outcreating, is outcreating this reality and going beyond this reality. Doesn't mean, this reality is not going anywhere. But when you outcreate it, you actually go beyond this reality and you start creating your own reality. And that's what blows me away, because I'm in this space that I have never had my own reality. But I actually remember or recall. Yeah.
Can we just throw this as well? Can we do a quick clearing on this? So everything all that brought up and anything it brought up any lifetimes, in the future, the past, present, blah, 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 everything. Will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Hopefully, people said yes.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pot, all night.
350,000 people did.
Oh, yes. Awesome. Changing the world. Where are we going?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was, yeah. You want to run that again, Hayden? Wow, that had a bit of energy on it.
I can't recall what I just said. So all that stuff I just cleared, I'm sure I can go back and do it somehow. Destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And all that stuff again, destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah. So much lighter.
So if anyone that, watching have never heard of the clearing statement, you can go to www.theaccessconsciousness.com clearing statement, and there's a video with Dr. Dane here talking about what the clearing statement is about. So we're not going to go right into detail about the clearing statement, but I always say it's the superheroes of point of creation and point of destruction, and it just clears everything. It's just amazing. Wow, that just clears everything.
It's like, man, I'm just floating. I was going to ask a question about reality, actually. What is actual reality, really? Is it not just a point of view?
Well, to create a reality is 2 points of view. So two people having a point of view and lining or agreeing with it or resisting or reacting to it. And that's how a reality is created. So another tool that you can use with Access Consciousness is just an interesting point of view. It's just an interesting point of view. Is not aligning or agreeing with someone and not resisting or reacting, being an allowance of them having that point of view or reacting or resisting, and just being in that allowance, that space, what they are choosing. There's no judgment. You're not judging. You're not aligning and agreeing with them, and you're not resisting or reacting. You're just being in a space is, okay, that's what they're choosing. So what would I like to choose? And when you have that point of view, and especially I'm going back to entities again, having interesting point of view and having no judgment on entities, then for me it's easier for all the entities to come up and be able to go, okay, what's this energy, and look at it and then ask questions around it, and I still go into the wrongness about it, because there has been lifetimes and lifetimes, and when you haven't been acknowledging what has been there and then you start acknowledging it, sometimes there's heaps of stuff coming up. It's like in the last couple of days it's really like being a volcano
or an earthquake, like the earthquakes we've been having. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna unmute Kerry, because I know Kerry, if she'd like to talk anything about entities.
Can we clear something first?
Hang on. Hayden wants to say something.
So all the excuses that brought up, what were we talking about? It was like 3 seconds ago. I've already forgotten. All the excuses, all that brought up, like, oh, I have my bad days, and everywhere that's been an excuse in any reality or any lifetime, we just try and uncreate all that. Please.
Yes. Yep.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pump, pop, all nine shorts, plays, and beyonds. Okay, now I can go in.
And that's really cool. And, and another question you can, when the excuses and everything comes up, you can ask yourself a question like, well, why am I creating here? Because, your point of view creates your reality. So your thoughts, feelings, and emotions actually creates your reality. So if you've got excuses, if you've got all these things coming up, and even if you are buying them as real and true from other people's reality, it's actually creating your reality. So like you said, if you've got all these, excuses and energies coming up, like using the clearing statement is a really good way to actually move forward and clear, and then ask questions. So clear it and then ask questions. Or you can ask questions and see what the energy comes up on it, and then actually, clear it and then ask more questions. So Kerry, what's hi, how are you?
Hi there.
Really cool that you joined us on the show tonight. So with entities, have you always been aware of entities in your life?
No, I haven't, but I think I have, but been unaware of it.
Okay.
How long have you been made wrong? Have you been made wrong for it in your life, might I ask?
I think it's been something that has been, not spoken about.
One of the unspoken things, like you don't talk about that.
I have to disappear. Mute me.
Okay, goodbye. Well, that definitely took an interesting turn. Where were we going with that?
So she was just, and that's really interesting. She was saying that because she was saying how it's an unspoken thing. It wasn't, like, yes, I was aware and I think I was and all like that. And, when you are aware of entities and you're not acknowledging there's actually entities around, it can actually really bring up all the not being clear and not having clarity around you. When you actually acknowledge that there are entities around you and really start willing to look at it and ask the questions, because it really, when you get to a space where it doesn't matter what other people say, what's true for you. And that's what acknowledging is about, really acknowledging what's true and real for you. So for me, entities is true and real for me. In a lot of other people's realities, it's not real and true for them. But in my reality, there's entities around me all the time. And like, you know, for me, if I don't be true to myself and start really committing to my life and know what I know about entities, it's, you know, I'm starting to get that I'm just killing myself. I'm destroying myself. And, you know, I'm not choosing that. So, you know, for me, I know what's true for me. And I'm willing to say what I actually know. And, you know, sometimes, you know, really standing up and, you know, we don't know how many people are going to see that. It's like, well, this is actually my reality. You know, people who have passed over, people who don't have bodies, yeah, they are true for me. They are real for me. So, yeah. So, you know, it's really knowing, you know, it's really owning and claiming what's true for you.
That's it.
And like Kerry, it brings, like by me choosing that, it brings more of me.
Yes.
And it brings all of me. And I'm asking for all of me to step up. And in a conscious world, you know, includes everything and judges nothing. So entities is a part of that. And so for me, I would love to see a conscious world that there is entity, you know, entities are a part of that without any judgments, without any fixed points of views about entities and spirits and all these different energies that people don't receive. So, yeah, that's one of my targets about consciousness.
That's a good target. I like that target.
It's very light. It's very light when I talk about it.
I like when we get halfway through these things and it's like, oh, this is a lot easier now. Ah, really real. The question is, where would we like to take this? Because this is such an expansive topic. So we could go into how can we use entities to our advantage? Like, I've seen people be able to just be like, okay, entities, if you're going to be here, make me some money. You're going to be paying rent. And just that different point of view. And then money just randomly shows up in the bank account. Or they get weird ways like that.
So entities, like for me, is like, it's just having a conversation like, you know, I have a conversation with you and like with Kerry. And, you know, different entities, you know how you can talk to certain people. You get on, you can communicate with different people. And some people you get on better with and other people you just find you just cannot get on or communicate. It's the same thing with entities. You can, you know, like there's some entities that I can have conversations that are just easy flow. And then there's others that are really confusing, not clear, very cluttered. So it's really about like, what would you like by, you know, what we just said, you know, how can you use it to your advantage? And when we talk about how you use it to your advantage, I've heard this before, it's about using your awareness to your advantage. You're not taking advantage of people. So this is where it gets misapplied and misidentified that, wow, you're using people or you're taking advantage of it. You're actually using your awareness. You're aware of something and how can you add on and how you can make it greater and how you can work with entities. Because there's a lot of entities that are here to destroy and mess you up and all like that. And there's entities that would love to contribute and really, you know, give to you. But a lot of times, and I know for me, I do it. You know, so the more I push down my barriers and the more that I'm willing to be more aware of entities around. And then the question I ask is, are you here for unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, or consciousness? And if they say unconsciousness, I tell them to go. And I'm doing that more and more and more and more. And I've been practicing that for the last 48 hours. That's that's like a muscle for me, building that. And if they're here for consciousness, okay, push down my barriers. So it's been quite a weird 48 hours for me because there's been a lot of energies that I haven't been willing to receive before. And there's a lot of entities that are around that's starting to go, oh, yeah, wow, here, we're here. And there's a lot of unconscious and anti-conscious entities. And I am asking them, you know, I'm using the entity clearing and, you know, I'm asking them to leave. So that's what's been working for me.
And it might be different for everyone, like working with entities. Well,
it is. What if you could find what works for you? So what works for me, what works for Kerry. So it's about playing with these tools and taking that significant, and what if it's actually fun about clearing entities?
Not terrifying and scary. But the ghost people are scary.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, make millions. But we should totally do that. We just make a Ghostbusters thing. We just go and like, okay, entities, you're gonna need help or go. Done. Make millions. Simple.
So yeah, like, and that's what this reality creates. Limitation and creates a barrier of what you actually see on TV and movies. And a lot of what you see on TV and movies is actually not true and is actually a myth. So what Talk to the Entities is about is actually really busting the myths and being your own source, and really about, you know, working what works for you with entities, empowering you to know that you can actually have your own reality with entities, and that's really exciting.
I thought you were going to say to empower you to know what you know. Just steal it.
Well, it is to know what you know, and that's a question you can really be asking too. To know what you know about entities.
Yeah, because there's definitely a lot, and it's definitely a field where a lot of people have knowledge, even though they've never been willing to be aware of that knowledge. So yeah. What about entities that aren't in the typical sense of other people? So like businesses, cars, clothing. I remember you telling me about that, how you go outside and you talk to the clothes on your line. You're like, oh, are you guys dry? And they're like, nah, leave us on for another hour. And you just ask all these questions. And at that point I was like, she's a mad woman. Crazy.
Well, every molecule has consciousness in it. So you can talk to, and you can talk, everything in the universe has consciousness. So you can talk, because you know you are a conscious being, and your body, well, you've got molecules, you've got cells, so you've got consciousness in every cell, every molecule in your body. So what's amazing is when you're willing to have that communion and talking to them. And yeah, I do. I talk to everything. I talk to my business. And I mean, I use the clearing statements, and, you know, a business is an entity. I talk to my car. I ask my car, you know, to always contribute to me and what I can, actually contribute, with the consciousness in the calm. And I do it with everything. When I'm not able to find something, I actually ask the consciousness in what I'm actually cannot find to show me or give me an awareness of where it is. And I am actually like instant. And so you can do that with entities too. If you've misplaced something, you can ask the entity to show where you've actually misplaced it. So you can
It's
talk.
really cool.
It's a whole new world. It's a whole new, like, with consciousness. It's just you have this intimate, and I would say it's with no judgment. You can have it intimate with everything, and if, like, what I've been practicing with, you can raise the consciousness in every molecule too, and so you can actually turn molecules and then raise the vibration, and that's really cool too.
What do you mean by that? Because I haven't really heard much about that. That's all.
Okay,
like
so
raising the consciousness or the vibration.
There's been a lot of projects. So if there's something in a house and there's been a lot of projections, expectations, separations, and there's been a lot of conclusions or decisions and everything that's been thrown at, and it goes into each of the molecules, you can actually raise the vibration. You can actually ask all the unconsciousness, all the anti-consciousness, and turn it 180 around and raising the consciousness in it. So it's just like clearing and raising the vibration up. Because like unconsciousness and anti-consciousness has got this really heaviness, denseness. And consciousness has got this really acoustic energy. And when it has this energy, so like, unconsciousness and anti, it's got that electrical, it's got that charge, it's got that force. Where consciousness has got that acoustic, it's got that lightness about it. So, you can raise them. So usually when I have like a charge, and I have electric charge, I go, oh, what unconsciousness or what anti-consciousness am I aware of? And what consciousness can I include or is required here? And so then I can actually ask to be, not actually pull in, I can actually ask to be that acoustic energy. And that's that conscious energy. Does that make sense?
Can you tell when I was in and out, and it's very much something I'll learn a bit more about, because I haven't really heard much of this discussion, but I noticed myself going in and out. Like you'd say acoustic, and I was like, and I got the energy of it, so I'm getting more there.
Yeah, and so acoustic is really, it's not there's a charge, there's something. Hi, Michaela. There's just this really, it's just this really high vibration. Higher.
It's lighter.
Yeah,
Much
it is
lighter.
And like unconsciousness, it's cool. Like it's just really heavy and dense.
Yeah. It's fun usually, because it's more about no's than yeses. Yeah. Oh, I wonder what that can create. Like, I know I usually, that vibration, it's so much more than what anything.
And you can ask to invite that vibration and be that vibration anytime. So by just asking to be that invitation and asking to be it, so you can, it's a question you can ask, what can I be and do different today to change this right away? And by just asking to be that energy, it actually can just change everything. So again, it's by asking that question, by asking a question.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What it brought up was that energy of source of creation creation. I'm not sure how I got there, but it's sort of into that for me. It was.
So tell me some more about that's really. I'm very curious. So source of creation.
Yeah. So source of creation, you get some Nutella and you get some tomato sauce and you mix it together, and then you got your source of creation. It's super easy. Actual source of creation, other than the sauce.
So you're actually asking for different different
Come
to come in. It's like all the different elements to come in, because there is different elements that you can actually have that can create different possibility, different actualization, and can actually create miracles.
Where I was
going
to go with it is being that source where you're stepping up to that, to be that acoustical vibration, and to be that lightness and that lack of judgment and the lack of heaviness, and just stepping up to that level. I was seeing it more as a stepping up.
And what if you actually are that? You actually are that vibration. You are that energy. And you're actually starting to awaken to be that energy. So stepping up, you are stepping up. You're stepping up to be more than you are, that more of you. And by using the access tools, it actually gets you to be, it really gets you to be more of you.
With more ease.
A lot more ease. Yeah.
Back to the acoustical vibration thing. What came up is we don't change into the acoustical vibration. We are that.
We are that already. Yeah. And a lot of us don't, we have been on planet Earth for so long, and we've actually forgotten, and we've been this electrical vibration.
Yeah.
But we are this. We are that energy. And so with the Access Consciousness tool, it awakens you to know that you are it, and you can start being it again. And that's where stepping up, being all that you can be again, waking up. It's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. So everything that doesn't allow you to step up and be all that you can be, will you destroy it and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, and pop and pod, all 9 short boys and beyond. So by choosing to step up and be all that you can be, and that's all of you. Yeah.
Not just the 4 of us in this call currently.
And, I'm wondering what this is changing, even with the 4 of us talking about it. So, so everything that is times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pod, all 9 short boys and beyond.
Ooh.
That's really cool. That's a lot lighter.
Yeah. Huh.
So it's really been an interesting episode that we've been talking about. Like started with entities, and now we're talking about all that we can be.
Interesting, like how the energy will flow into that, and that's like I came up with a second topic that I hadn't told you about, and I was like, if we could go into different energies and stuff, and somehow we sort of got halfway there.
So we're talking about energy, and what if consciousness is energy?
What if everything is energy?
Like everything is included and you don't judge anything. What if it's, it's energy? What if, and I've been asking, what if you weren't willing to reject any energy?
No matter what it looked like, tasted like.
Whatever it looks like,
How green it was.
Yeah.
How much money it was.
And not reject it. Like today, this was really interesting. I went to pick up table and chairs, and I parked on the side of the road, and we were putting the chair, and a lady came out, and she was very aggressive, and she had this energy is, I'm going to do it this way, and you're not going to change. And I actually lowered down my barriers, and she was quite screaming at us, where one of the guys were trying to show her a different way that, you can go this way, and she had no part. By willing to actually lower my barriers and not take a fixed point of view on it, I was aware she was going to back end my car. So I just slowly went in, shut the doors and moved the car, and she left. So when you lower down your barriers and you don't reject any energy, and you don't take a fixed point of view, you're aware of what other people are actually thinking in their minds, and actually are what is aware. And so for me, I was like, okay. And then I actually went, thank you for your judgment. I didn't say it out loud, but I said it to me. And if there was no upsets in my world, I actually giggled. It gave me a lot more awareness of what goes through people, where people are functioning from. So when you do drop your barriers and don't take a fixed point of view and be just in an interesting point of view, you are aware of where people are functioning from. And yeah, I chose, she was not going to hit my car to make a point. And that was really cool. So there was no barriers. I was that, marshmallow that Dane talks about, there was nothing to hit me. There was nothing to, it was just to bounce off me.
Yeah. You just let it pass on through. You just took the awareness. And you just like, okay, cool. I'm going to choose this.
I had the awareness, and I didn't take a fixed point of view. I didn't go, oh, I'm going to prove this person wrong. Oh, wow, I'm really fight because I'm parking on the side of the road. I didn't do any of that. I did what was aware, and then I chose what I was willing to do. Move the car. Cool. Get back in the car.
Much easier.
It was really cool, and it was really fun. So that's one of my target. I'm going to lower my barriers down, and I'm, and see what, turns up. I'm really excited. See, it's
from anticipation.
What did you say?
Giddy from anticipation, like just you looking forward to being out. Yeah.
Well, it's an adventure for me, because I used to have barriers up, and I probably would have my pitchfork and ready to slice her and go, up yours, And
you wronged me in this way.
How dare you talk to me like that? And by me not being reacted or resistant, or aligning and go, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that, and all like that, I just had no fixed point of view, and just was able to, do what I, did what I did. So it was really cool. So that's about energy. You're talking about, like, when you don't reject any energy, you can have people yelling at you and screaming at you, and you can still be quite relaxed.
Just
really cool.
Be aware that when you're receiving this, I tend to smile when people are doing this to me. So just be aware when you're smiling, because sometimes it just pisses people off even more. And it's hilarious, but just be aware of your smile. Because I remember...
I like you say you smile. I had this look like, really? It was like, I had this really... I wasn't smiling. I wasn't laughing. I wasn't crying. I had this really like, oh, are you talking to me? It was like, it was really, oh, are you talking to me? It was really cool.
It is so cool.
So, and these tools, consciousness is about fun. It is about the play. And if you can really, and about, having the joy and the embodiment, if you can play with these tools, you can really have a really good time with people who are choosing to be on consciousness. There was another one too today. There was this guy, and he was really driving quite slowly, and the traffic was quite banked up, next to me. So I actually, just went, okay. And I started just saying to him, you're going to be late. You're going to be late. You're going to be late. And he started driving faster and faster. And And I could see when I drove past him, he was driving faster and faster. And it was really cool. So I got buy-in. So using it to your advantage, using energy to your advantage, your awareness to your advantage.
And it
So
helps a
what
lot.
else would you like to talk
easy.
about tonight episode? It is different not having a guest. And next week is our bath show. So we got Alan Jones, got Reese, we got Delaney, we got myself, and we got Hayden, and we're all going to be in baths. So we're going to be in Australia, we're going to be in America and England. So I'm really excited. Then we're going to have John West, that I'm really looking forward, who's a yoga teacher and a yogi, and has amazing he's transformed his life with yoga, so that's going to be amazing. We've got Anthony and Julia, who are from the States, so they're going to talk about, they've just got married, and they just are embodiment of joy and happiness. So that's really cool. We have a
lot of people in the work. We have a lot of people in the works. I
know, we got Frank and we've got Adriana. I'm looking for Adriana. Adriana is a psychologist who uses the access tools, and she's really into Entities. She's a talk to the entity facilitator. She is amazing, and I was talking to her the other day, and she has got so much going, creating so much. So Adriana is, coming onto the show. So we've got some amazing, we've got Lizzie coming on the show. She's just started a whole new organisation with consciousness. So Lizzie is coming on the show too. And we're gonna we're gonna ask some other people coming on.
Delaney.
Yep. Who else?
Marion? Yeah. No. M's. I always get stuck on M's. We had a few other people. I can't remember all their names at this moment.
Well, we're really booked up for 6 weeks, so it's really exciting. And we're looking at live streaming it, so that's really and we talked about, we're gonna do it live, and you're gonna be on the Sunshine Coast soon in September
for the advanced body class on the 16th.
So we can actually do, if you're actually down here, we might even do a live show together. That'd be really exciting.
Walk the streets that night. Is it bright down there? This is just me asking.
Oh, it is. And we've got the video camera too now.
Cool. That's working really well.
Filming the show, so.
Yeah. We'll have to be extra aware.
I'm happy to wind up the episode tonight. Kerry, do you want to say anything?
No, I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Oh, cool. You're welcome.
I've got to step up more.
Can you say that again?
I have to step up more.
It's just a choice. Yeah. And it was really nice, Michaela joining. I haven't seen Michaela.
Being called out on the internet.
I've known the family for nearly, how long? 5 years? 6 years?
Right.
So they used to come into the wellness centre when I was when I had a wellness centre in Blackwater, and it's amazing. After all these years, and they've been choosing Access Consciousness and going to classes, and they've been asking more in their lives, and it's just awesome to watch Kerry just grow and step up more in her life, and I adore Hayden, so to watch him just choosing more consciousness in his life is amazing. So it's really cool.
I have a question for you.
For your mum or for me?
For you. Well, actually all of us, really.
Wrong. And for Michaela?
If she wishes to ask it. Remember 5 years ago? And that question, what will my life be like in 5 years? Did anyone expect it to be like this? I know I definitely didn't. And it's very different. So
No, it never shows up the way. I really did have a plan that the way consciousness was going to, show up and how I was going to use Access Consciousness tool, and I had it all, control freaked, planned out. If you would say that I was living on the Sunshine Coast, doing a TV YouTube channel like with you guys. There she is. It's just amazing. And I remember when we all did, like, Michaela, do you remember when we had our first bars class?
she can't hear you.
Oh, can she not hear?
No. I've got headphones on, remember?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. So, like recalling that we had the first bars class and we started using the Access Consciousness tools. It was, someone asked me a question. They said, when did you know there was something different? And it was actually 4 months before I discovered Access Consciousness. I remember going to a healer and I was doing all this metaphysics and yogi and all this. And I actually said to myself, I know there is more to this. And I know there's more to this reality. And I know there is more
to everything.
Consciousness. And then not long, the access tools came along. And
ask and you shall receive.
So, Michaela, I was going to say, do you remember when we did our first bars class?
Oh, that was filled with adventure and definitely awarenesses and definitely brought up a lot of change.
Yeah. And that's around 3 years ago. So, and look at us now. And you guys are going to the advanced body class. How cool is that?
How does it get any better than that?
How does it?
Yeah, and you're going to the abuse hold class.
That's me.
Yep, you're going to that.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay, well, let's start wrapping up this episode. Thanks, Kerry.
Let's start wrapping it up.
Thanks, Michaela, for joining us. So next week, like we say, we got the bath. So we're in a bath. So are you ready for that, Hayden? Are you going to be in a bath? I'm really looking forward to it. I'm in a really deep bath.
Stepping up in the weirdest of ways. Definitely not what I expected when we started this show.
Oh, we're going to have laptops. Oh, we are so looking forward to next week. So the show is actually going to be at 6:00 next week. Yeah, 6 o'clock.
It's going to be a pre-record, isn't it? So.
Yeah, but if people still like to join us live, they can. With Reese, it's going to be 2 a.m. in the morning for Reese in the States.
He'll be fine. He's in a warm place, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's cool. And a lot of our shows are going to be pre-recorded and a few changes, especially with Anthony and Julia. We're going to do like a 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's just a different time zone for these guys. It's 2 or 3.
Yeah. Innocent, yeah.
Cool.
But we should wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. I don't even know what the time is.
It's been an hour.
Oh,
check out the SoundCloud.
Yeah. All right. So you want to put the screensaver on and then say our goodbyes?
I guess, yeah. There we go. Share that screen. Da 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 da.
And we'll get the music. We'll get the music going. I like that. I like the colourful
post-recording.
Thanks, Cherie, for doing that. That's awesome. All right, we'll see you next week, guys.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the 4th episode.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's another week done and another great episode. Hope you all enjoyed as much as Hayden and Julie did. See you next episode.